You know, I've been thinking lately about things. And yeah, this is gonna be just an unedited video. I just want to recreate kind of this 2010s aesthetic. It's gonna be weird, but I want to talk about a bunch of things related to this 2010 aesthetic. So let's see, what should I talk about first? Let's talk about nostalgia, first of all. So, a lot of people are nostalgic over things. You see a lot of people who are, well, basically my age, a bit younger, a bit older, being nostalgic about old Minecraft YouTubers. For example, Stampy Longlegs, I think that was his name. I never watched this one particular one that everyone's so nostalgic about, so I'm not sure. But I think it was Stampy Longlegs. So we got Stampy Longlegs, we got Sky Does Minecraft, we have popular MMOs, Dan TDM, the biggest one, at least for me, though I mainly watch popular MMOs, and Preston plays, but he's kind of, eh. So, you got all those YouTubers, right? And everyone's so nostalgic about them. Everyone's so like, oh my god, stuff was so much better back in, what was it, 2015, 2016? Wow, and I hate Dream. I hate George Not Found. I hate Sapnap. It's all so bad now. And that, I feel that. I really do feel what you mean. But you gotta consider that it's just a different era. Like, if you feel like that, I feel the same way. But it's just kind of a different era in a way. People who are like 10 nowadays and watching Dream will probably just be nostalgic about Dream in like 5 or 6 years or whatever. Yeah, that's about it. I'm kind of winging it in this video, so excuse the quality, but it's meant to kind of be like bad, you know, out of the heart, straight out of the heart kind of thing. Recreating that 2010s aesthetic, which brings me to the next topic, which is the 2010s aesthetic. You see a lot of people being like, oh my god, 2010 was so cool, 2012. A lot of people talk about 2012 and how it was amazing. How old are these people? 20 years old? 15? Not 15, a bit young. 17, 18? Oh, you scared me. 18? That is pretty young to be nostalgic for an era when you were 10, 12, 8 years old. And that's exactly why they're nostalgic. They keep talking about all the, at least this is true for me. I keep thinking about all these things that when I was like, Lucky Star, for example. I watch anime. Lucky Star, 2007, big thing, right? Weeb, peak weeb shit, 2007. I was 2 years old in 2000. No, I turned 2 years old in 2007. For the majority of 2007, I was a 1-year-old. And I'm like, oh, I wish I could have experienced that. And a part of that sort of nostalgic feeling, because it feels kind of nostalgic without being exactly nostalgic, comes from the fact that I never lived it. And nostalgia for this era, 2010, 2012, comes from the fact that all the people who are nostalgic for these kinds of things were children back then, which means that they had no worries. They literally were happy all the time. They did not experience things from a critical thinking point of view. If I'm trying to express that in a way here. They didn't experience things very critically. They just kind of experienced things, and they were discovering things, and that was kind of the magic of life back when people were children. It's just how things are, and when you grow up, you kind of lose that feeling of exploration because you you keep growing up and you get used to some things and you keep doing those things over and over again and they become numb, but you kind of keep doing them because that's what you're just used to. And that is the way that most people's life is, I guess. You just have people who keep, and I'm in those people, I'm one of them, who just keep doing the same thing over and over again because they're used to it and they don't try anything new a lot. And that feeling of just, wow, that's something completely new, exists less and less in one's life, to the point where their life starts to feel boring because, well, they don't experience anything new at all, pretty much. So, like, what is my routine? Well, I try to make my life kind of fun, but usually towards the night it just becomes kind of boring because I don't like programming in the night. Yeah, so let me actually give you some wow, Minecraft. Let me give you some insight on what I do on a daily basis. I wake up at around like what, 2 p.m. It's almost, we got like one more test to write for the finals right now, and then we're gonna have summer vacation. So I just kind of started sleeping way too late. So I go to sleep at around 6 a.m. wake up at around like 2:30 p.m. and just start my day from there. I go and eat lunch. I eat lunch, and then I come back to my room and I start, like, what time is it now? Should be around 6. Yeah, it's around 6:30 right now. So I come back to my room around this time, start programming some stuff. Right now it's Sonic ROM hacking that I'm into. It's pretty cool. If you like Sonic and you like classic platformers and stuff, you should try it out. But whatever, right? So that's kind of my routine. And then around like 9-10 p.m. I stop and I go on YouTube to just chill. But being on YouTube kind of gets boring, but I don't know what else I am supposed to do. This also has to do with like a habit of procrastination, where I could be doing something else, like studying for the last finals test, which is geometry. Our teacher's pretty bad, right? So I gotta get a whole 1 out of 20 to pass. Wow. Usually it should be 0 theoretically. If you have like above 15 out of 20 on both semesters, not really semester, 4-month periods, it should be around like 0 that you should be getting. Whatever. Physics is worse. Because our teacher is even worse there. But yeah, instead I spend my day just watching YouTube, and sure, it's good in some aspects. Like, for example, I watch VTubers and I'm learning Japanese, so watching them without subtitles does help my listening ability and my general Japanese abilities. That's a good thing. But some parts of that just get boring really quickly because it's a boring routine. You don't really get a whole lot of anything out of it, right? And that slowly starts to become boring. So that's a good. It's an example, nonetheless, of what doing the same thing over and over causes to a person. And then there's a difference with the child, which just kind of does things, and everything is new to a child. Hell, even new words are new to a child and kind of exciting. Everything's exciting when you're a child because you've never lived anything like it, even. Not even that specific thing. You haven't seen anything that's like it. And because you're so, you can be molded easily, I guess. You, as a child, you have You have a very flexible brain. Oh God. Oh God. Oh no. You have a very flexible brain when you're a child, right? So you just kind of get used to new things very easily. Change isn't that difficult for a child. You adapt really easily, but the more you grow older, the harder change becomes, and the less you get used to things that are new. Yeah, that are new. The less you get used to them, and then that kind of becomes a problem where your life gets more and more boring because you don't try out new things because you just don't want to. You're much more comfortable doing the things you're used to because that's kind of human nature, and I'm not sure why. I haven't looked into it very much, but it is still human nature. I know that for a fact. At least I think it is, because that's how most humans behave. So it only makes sense that it would be human nature, and if it's not, then damn, that's something very common for when it shouldn't really be that common. Whatever. Again, this is a very out of the heart video, so oh man, I'm already running out of things to talk about. I was going into this being like, oh my god, yes, I'm gonna talk about so many things. This is gonna be the best video ever. It's gonna get 1 million views. It was also kind of like for an experiment because I'm planning on uploading this in like 480p or 720p, and yeah, but that might not happen. Guess I need the cobblestone. But yeah, 2010. Let's go back to that because I think that's gonna be the title of the video, like just 2010 or something similar to that. So let's consider that era. Let's just think about 2010 for a second. What does 2010 have that's so special? Any mobs? I can't see, but yeah. What does 2010 have that makes it so special? Like, think about that for a second. If you're a person who thinks that 2010 is cool, because I am kind of that kind of person, right? So, oh, you can't make charcoal. God damn it! Can you even smelt wood? You can. Okay, but you can't make charcoal. Whatever. So yeah, say you're a person who really likes 2010. What do you like about it? Like, let's think about this together, right? Because assume that we are like friends right now and we're talking, and I ask you this, and you love 2010. Why? So think about that for a bit, and I'm gonna try to think about it too because I haven't actually thought about that. I haven't actually thought about that, but think about it for a bit. What do you like about it? And okay, so I'll try to answer first. What do I like about 2010? That would probably be the simplicity of things. You know, the internet was a very simple place back in 2010. How do I know? I haven't lived there. That's true. So that comes from, I believe it at least, it comes from the bias that I had as a child living in 2010 that is an era that I barely remember, but still. Simplicity was a big thing when you were a child, obviously. So it just kind of sticks with your, oh my, I can't see anything. I need to find coal, but where am I gonna find coal? I'm just gonna have to wait for the night out. I can hear something, I don't like it. Okay. So I think that kind of feeling of simplicity from 2010 comes from the fact that a lot of us were still children back in that time. So we kind of just consider that era an era of simplicity, not because things were actually simple, but because we were just children. So our brains were more simple, and so the era becomes more simple. I don't want to live in the 1990s era of the internet, but I want to live in the post-2005 era of the internet, or in the era that was around the time when I was born. And that really kind of brings into perspective what my theory is about this whole thing. It's that we just like that era because we were younger, and not because it was actually the coolest era. It was just an era. And I'm really curious about 10 years later, or 5 years, 10 years, I don't know how many years later, what era are people going to be the most nostalgic for? Are we going to get a lot of people who are like, I want to live in our 2020, actually. Our 2020 was a great era. I would have loved the coronavirus. Because my theory is that we will get... How do you open the invent... Oh, there we go. My theory is that we will get a lot of people who are gonna be like, oh, I wish I lived during the coronavirus. While everyone who has lived during the coronavirus actually wasn't that big of a fan. I was okay. I'm like, I'm an introvert. I like sitting inside if that wasn't quite obvious, but I like staying inside, so I have no problem with a pandemic that kind of forced me to do that. Though, the forcing part is a bit bad, but it is what it is, right? My life doesn't really change anyways. The only problem was that I didn't really learn anything from school, so I kind of just missed a whole year of socializing, because I was getting a bit better at that. I was really bad at socializing before high school, and oh my god, I can hear that. And during high school, I became a lot better, so that's cool. But yeah, I think that it's just really because of how we were alive back then, how our brains functioned in the era that we're so nostalgic for that we don't even remember, basically. Because if you ask anyone from that era, a lot of the people, anyone who was actually, like, say, 15, 20, during the era that everyone's so nostalgic about, they'd be like, well, it was just normal, right? It was just a normal era. That's interesting, because it shows kind of the difference in perspective. And I bet that we, right now, we who are nostalgic about 2010, 2020, 2012, are gonna be nostalgic about 2022 and 20 years because, well, we are still young. Think about yourself in your 40s. Aren't you gonna kind of miss your teenage years? Because a lot of 40-year-olds do miss their... Oh my god! Holy shit, man. Yeah, see, the commentating while playing a video game isn't the easiest thing. My whole body is shaking, Jesus Christ. Oh, go away, man. Go away. Yeah, burn. But yeah, think about that. Aren't you gonna be a bit nostalgic about your... about your 20s when you're like 40 or 50. That's real nostalgia. That's the actual real kind of nostalgia where you're very nostalgic about something. And let me... Is this crap? Oh my god. Let me go into a slightly different topic. Very related, but slightly different. So what about... I forgot the topic. I forgot... Okay. What about... Yeah, well, okay, I remember. What about Minecraft? A lot of you who are watching this video are probably big fans of Minecraft, or have at least played Minecraft once in your life, right? Wasn't that first experience of going into the game kind of cool? Like, weren't you like, wow, this game is pretty cool, I can do anything I want, I can explore? And didn't that kind of give you that sense of childlike wonder? That you're like, wow, a whole new world to explore. But after a few years, it just becomes boring. There's, like, just with everything else, because, well, what new is there to explore? It's Minecraft, you know, you have an outlet of creativity, and that's what keeps you playing the game. That is what never makes this game truly boring, is that you can do anything you want in the game, and you'll keep coming back to it because you thought of something new that you can do. You know, you took a little break, but you never take a break forever. At least that was the case with me. I've taken many breaks from Minecraft, but I've never taken one that lasted more than a year at most. So... Minecraft has this sense of exploration that never truly makes it boring, and a good example of that would be the Hermitcraft server. You know, on Hermitcraft, everyone just keeps playing and playing. I mean, it's their job, right? But they still have fun. You can kind of tell that they are still obviously having fun playing the game. So... you know, but okay, let me bring my topic back to what I wanted to say originally, which was, why do you feel this nostalgia for Minecraft of all things? Like, sure, people feel nostalgia for different games, and I will get to that as well, but specifically Minecraft. Let's talk about specifically Minecraft. Why? Why would you be so nostalgic about a game that it has these blocky graphics and these mountains and whatever? It doesn't look that impressive, but that's only if you look at its cover. And as they say, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Let me make sure I'm recording. Am I? I am. Let's go. Okay. So they say don't judge a book by its cover. Well, what does Minecraft have that makes it different from any other game? Well, we'll find out shortly as I keep walking here. And you will notice something. Something very specific about this game. The world doesn't seem to have an end, and that's because, well, it does technically have an end. But does it really have an end? If you walk like 12 million blocks, yes, but nobody who's actually using this game, who's playing this game as intended, will be walking that distance. And let me show you another reason why Minecraft is different. This building. You can modify the world. You can make it yours. You can pour work. You can put in so much work into a world and shape it the way, the the exact way that you want to, and the limitations of the game make it so much better, because working with limitations is what makes us truly creative. If there were no limitations, there would be no creativity. But working within the limitations of anything always makes everything so much better. Look at this book. This is a lighting book, right? And it's interesting because I've never seen it, or I have seen something similar, but not this. And you can see that this looks like a black void. And if I step into it, everything turns kind of black, right? So this is kind of funny. And, oh, wait, it doesn't work. Wait, what? There we go. And now it's fixed. But that wasn't really an example of what I wanted to say. So, what I actually want to say is, let's say you wanted to build a person. You can't make a photorealistic person in Minecraft. You can do that in Blender. But in Minecraft? No, you can't do that. Instead, you have to build something similar to how am I gonna get down? Oh wait, I can't sprint. Oh, okay. You have to build something like this. This is a person of sorts. This is kind of a person, right? It's kind of a person. But this is what I mean. This is the bare minimum example, but you kind of, if you watch Hermitcraft, you'll understand better. And I will reference Hermitcraft, so if you haven't watched season 9, go ahead and watch that before you watch the rest of this video. So, season 9 of Hermitcraft. I personally watched Rian and Mumbo. Mumbo's taking a break right now, so it's just Rian. And say, for example, that you are Rian, and you want to build a big rock base. A bunch of boulders with moss on top. You can't make that realistic in Minecraft. It's Minecraft. You can't do that. But you have to get your brain, your mind, working and trying to make the shape of those rocks inside the game. And that is the true wonder of Minecraft. That's why people feel so nostalgic about it. It's because it's simply different. It's just a different game. Because you don't get told what to do. Gotta think about that. Gotta think, what do I do next? And that's what truly makes the game more fun to play as well. That is the point of the game. You gotta keep thinking, what do I do next? Do I keep doing this, or do I do that, or what do I do? And that's actually why I really like Sonic ROM hacking, is because it's on the Mega Drive, and the Mega Drive is, how old is it? A 34-year-old console. And in 34 years, a lot of things regarding hardware change. So while creating a classic Sonic game, for example, would be extremely easy today, doing it on the Mega Drive is slightly more difficult. And making everything work is slightly more difficult. So, yeah, that's about it. It's just more difficult, and that kind of makes me more creative, and so it's more fun. So that's why Minecraft's so fun, and that's why people find it so nostalgic. It's because it's Minecraft. It is just Minecraft. It's simple as that. There's no words to specifically explain Minecraft. Other than it's just Minecraft. You know, like CoffeeScript, it's just JavaScript. Not really, but that's their slogan. Well, Minecraft is just Minecraft. So, back to what I questioned a bit earlier. But why are people nostalgic for other games as well? What's the reason for that? Well, it's actually one of the reasons that people are nostalgic for Minecraft as well. That childlike wonder. When you first played, let me think of a game that I played, because I don't play that many games apart from Minecraft, but a game that I played when I was little. I wanted to use Undertale as an example, but I haven't played Undertale. I just have friends who are very nostalgic about the game. Subway Surfers? But I do have this kind of nostalgia for Subway Surfers, but I don't want to use it as an example. Clash Royale. I'll use Clash Royale, no, Clash of Clans, because it's an older game, so it'll kind of resonate with more people. So, Clash of Clans. A lot of people are a bit nostalgic about Clash of Clans, but why? Also, excuse the pitch blackness here. And, okay, thanks, yeah. Why are a lot of people nostalgic about Clash of Clans? Well, that comes down to the childlike wonder they experienced while at the age when they first discovered Clash of Clans. This also applies to Minecraft, but to Minecraft, you know, all the previous reasons that I mentioned also apply to Minecraft, but this is also one of them. You were a child when you first played Clash of Clans, probably, maybe, I don't know. So that's why you feel nostalgic for the game. Plus you have the village, which you actually make kind of yours, but it's not really, because it's not really about creativity, it's about strategy, which while it might be, wait, I'm not mining anything? What is going on? I can't see. Help me. I'll just try to go caving. But yeah, because Clash of Clans is just different. Okay, let me get back to what I was talking about, because playing while talking is difficult, but I wanted to do it specifically for this video to kind of recreate the quality of 2010, to show that it was nothing special, but it still brings you nostalgia. Simply due to the fact that you were a child back in that era. Back in the day, whatever. It's simply because of that. And the quality is pretty shit. But, yeah. So, Clash of Clans. You know, it's a game. You played it, probably. I don't know if you played Clash of Clans. You play Clash of Clans. And you understand that it's not like Minecraft. You understand that. But why are you so nostalgic for it? It's because of that. It all comes down to your childhood. That is the main point of this video. So let me go to a different topic, which is actually the same topic I started with, but I'll still talk about it for a bit. So, I've seen a bunch of videos talking about how video games are so dumb, and they've all mentioned this exact same thing. It's because you were a child, you were experiencing the world for the first time, and everything felt so wonderful, but then you don't have that anymore, so the game feels boring. And yes, that is exactly why video games feel boring nowadays, but it comes down to that other thing, which is doing the same thing over and over again. If you were to do something new, completely new, not something that's related to something you've already done, but rather nearly or entirely completely new, you would probably, that's my theory. It's not, if I haven't tried it, but you'd probably get that sense of childlike wonder back for doing when you're doing that thing. And then you do another thing, and you get that sense again. And then you do another thing, and it's back, and it's back, and it keeps coming, and it doesn't stop coming. It's just constant childlike wonder, childlike joy. You feel like you're a child again. Woo! Let's go. That's amazing. Yo, I love being a child. Yeah, it's sick, for real, dog. Yes, this is definitely a 2010 video. Whoa, people saying 2010. I don't know. I have, again, just childlike wonder making me nostalgic for this era. But, okay, I forgot what I was saying again. I hate this. I hate commentary, but at the same time, I love it. This is kind of like an insight on my constant thoughts. This is how I think. But yeah, so I don't know if I was going to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it. It's completely different from what I was originally about to say, but I have felt a sense of childlike wonder at 14, which, if anyone's older and watching this video, like, of course you did. But to me, I'm 16, so it doesn't feel that childlike to me. Even though if you're like 30 and watching this video, it definitely is very childlike. 14, it's so young, it's whatever. So yeah, at 14, I felt this sense of childlike wonder when I first discovered VTuber. Specifically, it was Usada Pecora. Usada Pecora. She did some Minecraft streams. I watched some subtitled clips, and I was like, wow, this is actually kind of entertaining, not gonna lie. And it was truly entertaining, and I liked it, and I felt like I was discovering something new, and I feel nostalgia for those specific Pecora streams. Why those specific ones? Why those specific clips with like Joseph the Villager and what was the Netherite sword where she dropped it into lava? And I still remember watching those and feeling, wow, dude, this is amazing. It's because it was my first time seeing it, and when it's your first time seeing something, you're nostalgic, and it's that nostalgia is always tied to that childlike wonder, whether you're a child or not. So it's not really childhood. It's just the feelings that you had during your childhood. There's no coal in this goddamn cave, but it's about those feelings that you had, not the specific age. So if you can manage to recreate that, if you can manage to recreate that sense of childlike wonder, well, you're gonna be very nostalgic in a few years, because you're just gonna keep thinking about, oh man. But then there's also the other theory that I've also thought about, which is, what if you're not nostalgic? Because if you keep feeling that childlike wonder, are you ever really gonna be nostalgic? Or are you just because you've always had that feeling in you, are you never going to be nostalgic? There's like so many things, so many theories that could be true, could just be completely off. It's just thinking is cool. Thinking about things is cool. Oh man. I wonder who's actually gonna watch this video. Like, if you're a viewer, like, genuinely comment and just say I watched this video. Just say, hi Delappy, you can't commentate, or something, anything you want that's related to this point of the video, so I know you watched this far, because I'm really curious. And I also kind of wanted to make this video as an experiment. I don't know if I've actually mentioned that already, but I wanted to see how many people a 2010s aesthetic type of video would attract. Because it's genuinely interesting. Where's that guy going? Okay. I was like also thinking of making a different type of thing, doing a different type of experiment on this channel, which would be interesting. Basically, how many views would a regular edited, I will do my best to make it as entertaining and as, fast cuts as possible. How many views would that get versus the exact same video, but not really the exact same video, just the exact same footage, but completely unedited? Because I'm sure it'll get less views unedited, because nobody will want to see like just a 2-hour video. Like, wow, 2 hours, especially with the attention span of today's generation, which I will also get into, because I've also been thinking about that a tiny bit. But how many views would the fast cuts video get as opposed to a live stream style video that isn't actually a live stream? It's just a video that has the style of a live stream. That would be interesting. So, okay, let me get to the attention span now, because I just thought of that. What about the attention span of this generation? It's very short. Why is it short? Because we are fed with instant gratification stuff. If we don't get this instant gratification feeling, we just kind of get bored, because, well, there's no gratification. Nothing, it feels like nothing has actually changed, even though there might be like a little pebble that's been added to something. And I'm talking about in general right now, not just videos, but specifically for videos, it would be exactly that. They're trying to satisfy this instant gratification, which keep viewers engaged, because it's like showing colorful images to a baby over and over again. You just keep changing the colors, because babies have a short attention span, but our attention span is becoming more and more and more baby-like, because I'm like a big example of this. I keep watching YouTube, these 2-minute clips, 3-minute clips of VTubers, of like 6-minute videos, because a 10-minute video, something that felt short a while ago, compared to 2010, 2012's 20-minute video, 2016's 20-minute video format. Right now, like a 10-minute video, I'm like, do I really want to watch that? I'm gonna prefer the 6-minute video. Because, well, 6 minutes is shorter than 10 minutes. So I'll watch a 6-minute video. And I believe that will soon become the norm. 5-minute videos, 6-minute videos. What do you think YouTube changed their, did it change it? I heard something a few years ago that they changed their stuff, their, threshold for when you can put ads, or mid-roll ads in a video from 10 minutes to 8 minutes? Why would they do that? Because videos are getting shorter and shorter. Why do you think TikTok's such a big success? Because the videos are 1 minute long at most, and most even aren't 1 minute long. Why do you think YouTube made a shorts version? To compete with TikTok, because they were getting loads of money from having these one minute long videos. Vine was a good example. I haven't experienced Vine, but just knowing about it in general, because the videos were so short, you couldn't really do a whole lot in them. But that was kind of like, it sparked your creativity, because they were just short enough where you could fit content into them, something that's funny. You could fit content, but you couldn't keep anything that wasn't relevant. So that's what made those Vine videos really entertaining, but that's what might have also hurt the attention span of the current generation even more, because, well, 6-second videos, you're gonna keep watching and keep watching and keep watching, and it's just gonna be new content over and over again. You just constantly get fed with more and more and more and more and more, and it just becomes part of you, and your attention span is dropped by just a tiny bit, but it's a little pebble that keeps on coming, and it doesn't stop coming. Yes, that is basically it. So then let's get to the next point, which is our generation doomed? No, it's not doomed. Of course it's not doomed. Whoever says that is fucking retarded. Like, honestly, no, our generation is not doomed. This is just a part of what makes up our generation. People are still gonna come out and do great things. This isn't where humanity ends or whatever. This is just another generation that has its ups and downs. You know what's really good up? That we have so many tools available to us, and there's gonna be this one person that comes out, uses all these tools that are available to us, and makes the world a better place. Because that's what progress is all about. It's about the one person, the few people that come out. And I wish it was the entirety of humanity, but no generation has been like that. No generation has had like a multitude, like more than 10,000 people that have come out and done something wonderful, and have truly changed the world on a worldwide scale. Because we've had a lot of people that were really helpful to humanity. Like, any scientist has probably been very helpful to humanity. Also, I can't pick stuff up anymore. What do I do? Okay. Alright. So, everyone's a bit helpful to humanity, but I'm talking about those ones that truly change the world on a global scale, because a lot of people actually, I'm really glad that those people exist. There's people who change their local communities, and that's really amazing. Like, please, I want more of those. But that's not everyone. And it's not a lot of people who make that big of a change. But I still like everyone's different. Most people do contribute to society, and that should be the goal of most people, either way, to at least contribute to society a tiny bit. Don't have to do it a lot, just a tiny bit. Also, yes, torches, coal. So yeah, anyone who says that our generation is doomed is just dumb. It's not doomed at all, if they actually mean it, because a lot can just say it as a joke, you know, haha, our generation is doomed, XD, lol, 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 lamau, lamau. And yeah, it's obviously not true. I'm curious about what the next generations are gonna be like. You know, now that I've talked about Gen Z for a bit, because it is what I meant by our generation, I wonder what generations after Z are gonna be like and behave like, what they're gonna be nostalgic for, because they're probably, you know, if you're like a Gen Z and you have a baby right now, and you're like 20 years old, you know, you had a kid a bit early. What's that kid gonna be nostalgic for in 2038? Let's say. You know, let's say it was just like born this year. I'm just gonna start dropping food at this point. But what if your baby was born in 2022 or 2020? What's it gonna be nostalgic for when it's your age? Say 20. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. But like, what is your kid gonna be nostalgic for? Think about that. Just theoretically. I think it's gonna be nostalgic for an era that we haven't even experienced, but are very close to experiencing. Before the kid is actually old enough to understand. Like, maybe it's even gonna be nostalgic for the coronavirus, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Maybe your kid is just gonna be like, oh, I wish I was alive during the corona. Like, this isn't exactly nostalgia. It's more like, oh, I wish. But let's take some older people who've had kids that were born, say, 2018. So they were 2 years old during the coronavirus. They would have probably been like, "Ah, things were so much better back then." When they weren't, they were just different, and you were just a child, which is why you thought they were better. That's me with Lucky Star. I just thought that, oh, Lucky Star's better. Because, well, the Lucky Star era was so much better. I wish I was like 16 in 2007. When it would have been kind of the same. And I still feel that nostalgia for 2007, 2013, when it was just simply me being a child back then and seeing the world with a different perspective. And that's what really made me think this way. You can't change your brightness in this, can you? You cannot. I am so glad. So difficulty hard. Wow. That's why I died earlier. But yeah, I'm kind of like going in circles right now, so I think I'll end it here. Thanks for watching. Leave a 5-star rating, guys. When was that removed? Was that 2010? I don't even know. Yeah, leave a 5-star rating, guys. Leave some video responses. Share with your friends at school. Subscribe. No notifications. You get those automatically when you subscribe. So just subscribe without turning post notifications on, because you do not have those yet. And I'll see you all in the next one. Nah, that's earlier. Later, I mean. How do you actually do an outro in 2010? Goodbye.